Hi, we are from Group 14 and we would like to present about demolition work using wrecking ball. First of all, my name is Nurul Hasana and I'm going to present about the introduction for this task. We will give a preliminary risk assessment study and suggest suitable risk control to safeguard the health and safety of employees and campus residents while executing their duties and further avoid an accident. The focus of our business is demolition work by wrecking ball. The wrecking ball swings as the machinery moves, striking the target area with enough power to cause demolition. Wrecking ball are created using a pressure forging technique that hardens the steel as it cools. The implementation of activity on construction site have not been done properly in accordance with the relevant specification and regulations set out in Occupational Safety and Health Act 1994 and Factories and Machinery Act 1967. The safety and health management should place more of an emphasis on potential accident causes than actual accident causes. Next, I'm going to show flowchart process for the demolition work. Building demolition is the process of knocking down a structure using a planned or controlled procedure. This is flowchart for pre-demolition and demolition. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nushamimi binti Muhammad Shahar, CF10148. I will present you about Chapter 3, which is Method of Risk Assessment for Hazard and Control Measure. First is the health hazard, have the chemical, which is asbestos. The control measure, the worker have to wear PPE. Respirators must be provided when near to asbestos. Removal and clean up of asbestos waste. Next is dust and demolish concrete. The worker have to wear nasal mask and wear hearing earbud to protection. And the next one is the wrecking ball. Ensure all users wear safety equipment provided. And the last one is construction debris. Wear mask, aware of surrounding and be properly trained for the equipment in use. For safety hazard, from falling masonry uncontrolled collapse, the control measure, the worker have to wear PPE, keep tools and other materials away from edges, railing and another elevated surface. For the vehicles and equipment moving inside the site, only trained employees should be deployed for loading and unloading activity and must have a signalman in every site. For swinging ball slip and trips, create a barrier between workers and the hazard and establish the safe work procedure. For the badly designed safeguard, always check the machine is complete with all safeguard fit and free from defects. And the last one is the leaking gas related with the explosion. The countermeasure is service to be disconnected and confirmed to be disconnected by licensed person and regularly check all the connection and equipment. Next one is the risk estimation and risk evaluation. This is the likelihood of an occurrence level range from most likely to inconceivable. First one, the rating is 5. Most likely, for example, the most likely result of the hazard or event being realized. For 4-star, likelihood is possible. For example, has a good chance of occurring and is not unusual. For 3-star, the likelihood is conceivable, might occur at some time in future. And the second one is 2-star, remote, has not been known to occur after many years. And the last one is 1-star, inconceivable, is practically impossible and has never occurred. This is for the severity of hazard. Severity is based upon an increased level of severity to an individual's health, the environment, or to property. Rating 5, numerous fatality, irrecoverable property damage and productivity. Severity is the catastrophic. For the fatal, approximately one single fatality major property damage if hazard is realized. The rating is 4-star. And for 3 rating, not fatal injury, permanent disability, severity is serious. For minor, disabling but not permanent injury. And the last one is negligible, minor abrasion, user cut, first aid type injury. Next is the risk matrix table. For risk matrix table, to find relative risk, likelihood times severity. To get this value, the red color is for the high action and the yellow one is for medium and the green color is for the low. That's all for me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Muhammad Fahmiuddin bin Mustafa and I will continue about the IRAT table. So from the IRAT table, we have three parts: with the hazard identification, the risk analysis, and also the risk control. For the first part, for the hazard identification, we can see the activity, the actual or potential hazard, the consequences. On the risk analysis, we can see the risk control, the likelihood, severity, and the risk rating, and the risk classification. And for the risk control, and then we get the risk control. For the number one, the activity is site clearing. For the first activity is the building clearing before demolition. The workers are exposed to sharp and electricity. Workers are potential to be executed, electrocuted, and injured. For the control, we have the PPE and the risk rating is 15. For the control measure, we have to carry out the electrical isolation and lock out, tag out prior to hacking or breaking work, and provide detail of building utilities to layout drawing to the designated person. For the second work is the demolition work. Workers are exposed by flying objects, so there are potential to sustain a face injury, and the existing risk control is signage and block designated demolition work. And for the risk rating is 9, which put in the yellow and the medium classification, and the recommended control measure is to localize machine guarding must be fixed where applicable and appropriate. The table shows the 10 activity that we did. So to conclude, there are high and also medium classification, and to show there are and to sum up the high table, we have the max health hazard, which is 15 for the excessive noise, and the max safety hazard, which is 20 for the swinging ball, debris, falling machinery, and exposed to swinging ball.
Hello, my name is Nur Fitrina Binti Ghazali. I will present about discussion on the high rate table. The high rate table demonstrates the importance of hazard identification, risk assessment, control measure, control and review, all of which should be taken seriously and in a systematic manner. There is a significant distinction between health hazard and safety hazard. Things that can cause long-term health problems are considered health hazard, whereas things that can cause injuries or fatalities are considered safety hazard. This is table of the most critical safety and health risks. The maximum safety hazard for handling a wrecking ball is 20. This activity is extremely hazardous to workers because it can result in fatal injuries or even death. The person in charge of the wrecking ball must be trained to ensure that the job is done safely and in accordance with the law and regulation. The maximum health hazard is 15 and the hazard is exposed to excessive noise from the demolition works. The workers are advised to wear earbuds to minimize the impact to the workers. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Najhan bin Mat Yusof. My metric card number is DF190019. So I will talk about the hazard prevention and control. The hazard prevention and control measure is one of the most crucial parts of the high rate table after processes for identifying threats and evaluating risks. So as we can see in the slide, hierarchy of control, the top one is elimination, after that substitution, next is engineering control, followed by administrative controls, and the last one is wearing the proper PPE. So for example, our group is doing demolition work by using wrecking ball. For example, the building cleaning before demolition activities before construction could expose workers to potentially dangerous sharp objects and electricity, increasing their risk of electrocution and other injuries according to the high rate table cited above. Prioritizing the risk level 15, which is high, will help prevent a worse incident from happening. Prior to hacking or breaking work, it is advised to perform electrical isolation and log out or tag out procedures, and to give designated individuals a full building utilities layout drawing. On the other hand, the next risky task is demolition work, which can be risky in any building project. It had a medium risk level score of 9. The risk of a flying object striking a worker during demolition operation is that the worker could incur face and body injuries or worse, fatality. Machine guarding must be fixed when necessary and appropriate in addition to the hierarchy recommended measures, which include localized control measures such as signage and blocking specified demolition operation. It should be required to wear a safety helmet, safety boots or shoes, a safety vest, and earplugs or an earmuff. So next, I will talk about the conclusion. Despite all the safety and preventative precautions implemented at work, accidents still happen without warning. The people who were involved in the incident should all be interviewed in order to examine the occurrence and determine what can be done to stop it from happening again. By giving the employer a safe work environment, such as consistently keeping the workplace clean, the rate of such long-term and short-term injuries can also be decreased. So to sum up, one of the most frequent reasons accidents happen is because of hazard at work. To avoid injuries and save more lives, hazards should be investigated and control measures should be put into place. Data collection, analysis and identification of the primary causes of accidents or incidents that are likely to happen should be done in order to reduce the likelihood that a hazardous event will occur. So that's all from me. Thank you.